Hi, good afternoon, students. Teacher Adelina here. You can call me Teacher Ad, okay? So for those who are first timer, thank you for joining this slot with me. Okay, so today I'm going to continue discussing about English SPM Trial paper for 2022. And I'm using for this time of around question paper 2 of SBP. Okay, so for your information, for those who are new, paper 2 means paper 2 is testing the students on their writing skills. Okay, and in paper 2, the weightage of marks is 60, meaning that 60 marks. For each essay that is written by the students, they will get maximum of 20 marks each. Right now, for paper 2, there are 3 parts. Okay, first part is testing students on their email writing skills. For part 2, students are to write a guided writing, a guided essay. And part 3, students are required to choose one out of 3 types of writing given. And the difference between part 2 and part 3 is the extension of the writing. In part 3, it is known as extended writing, where students have to write a little bit more longer compared to the second part. Okay, so without further delay, let me continue. Yeah. Okay, now we'll start off with part 1. Now for part 1, students are usually given an email from someone. Okay, and sometimes in this email question, 2 characters are given names. Sometimes only one person is given the name. So you have to read really carefully whether at the end of the essay you are you are going to write your name at the end when you want to close the email writing, and who are you going to reply the email to. Alright. Okay, now, if you read this question is about an email received from your cousin. So the cousin is already given the name Fiza, who needs some advice to buy a gadget. Right? What kind of gadget your cousin wants to buy? So that's where the task comes in. Yeah. Alright, hi, do you know I can't live without my music? It helps me to study, but I just broke my earphones yesterday. I'm thinking of buying a wireless set. Can you suggest one? So this is the first task that students have to answer. Can you suggest one? Okay. How much should I spend? There's the second question. And the third question, should I go for the sound quality or the design, and why? So this is a combination of choices with reason to be provided. So if you were to count one by one, actually there are 4 questions. But if you were to look at it in a glance, then students should be answering 3 tasks, 3 questions given in the email. Okay. Now for Muslim students, again, to be reminded many times, please don't start off your email by writing Assalamualaikum. Because Assalamualaikum is not an English word. So it's easier for you to look at the original email question here. They start off with hi. So when you were to reply later for your cousin Fiza, just use hi as well. If you do not want to use hi, you can also use dear Fiza. It is up to your comfortability with which one you want to use. Okay, and you can see that in this email also there is no initial of anybody's name at the end. It's just finish it off with by. So if you want to put your name at the end of the email, there is no problem. Okay, you can still do it. Alright. Okay, let's continue. Now, when you are answering a question for email, a template will be given to you. This is a sample of how the template looks like. Okay, I just give you the to whom you need to answer, and it is advisable that when you write the answer to whom you're answering the email, the person, you have to answer by providing an email address, not the person's name, email address. The subject is earphone only. I do not, you can actually put another subject if you want to. For example, you look at the question here, advice to buy a gadget. But here, in the situation, the problem with your cousin is she is, her earphones is broken. So that's why I put the earphones. But if you want to use advice to buy a gadget, then you put here advice to buy a gadget. Alright, it is up to your comfortability. Alright, can I continue? Okay, I make my screen smaller? Now, if you were to answer here later, alright, what you can do is you can put there hi Fiza. Okay, hi Fiza. I do not want to I'm trying not to use dear, so I do not want to waste my time. So some of you like asking questions like, okay, how are you, how do you do, and so forth. But for me, if you want, you have to understand that replying an email should be straight to the point. So if I were to answer for this particular email, what I'm just going to write is, I'm just going to say, thank you for your email. Okay. I'm just going to answer the question straight away. I would suggest, okay, I would suggest, because the problem is she's asking for advice to buy an earphone. Okay, I'm thinking of buying a wireless set. Can you suggest one? Alright. I would like to suggest you buy a wireless what? Wireless set, because it is more convenient. Okay, more convenient. Okay, more convenient. And you can go where? You can go to any accessories, basically, as you go accessory shop, accessories or gadget, right? Any gadget shops to buy. Right? Now, look back at the questions. What does question one say? Buying a wireless set, can you suggest one? Okay. If you say that buy a wireless set, what brand? You can also insert here with a brand, with a brand name of what? I'm not very good with gadgets, so I'm not sure. You can just put a brand name there. Yeah, brand name. Because it's more, if you were to talk about brand, because it is known to be, it's known to have a good quality sound, and you can go to any gadget shops to buy one. Okay, alright. Okay, let's answer the second question. How much should I spend? So a good quality wireless would be what range? Price is from M 100 to RM 150. Okay. What was the last question? Should I go for the sound quality or the design and why? If you were if I were to give an advice, definitely I'll go for the sound quality. I will definitely go for the sound quality because you will be able to enjoy the music. That's it. So hope to hear you should with the choice, with the choice that you have made. Okay? If I want to put initial at the bottom, can it's up to you. Alright, so I put just my initial. Okay, now the first question asks you about whether to buy a wireless set with a wireless set and what wireless set is it. So here you already suggested. This one. And I'm just giving you where to get it at any gadget shops, not specifically. If you feel that you do not know any names of a shop, then you can just write it like this. There is not wrong, it's correct. So what about the price? So I'm giving the price ranges from, I'm still correct. You can give a fixed price or you can give a range. Okay, then the third question was asking about whether to go for sound quality or not. So I'm saying sound quality and I'm answering the question as well. The reason. So basically, when you write this answer, you have already answered all the three questions in the given task. Okay, all right, understand? Let's continue. So this is part 2. Part 2 is guided writing. Okay, guided writing means that in this particular essay, students are given guidance of what to be written in their essay writing. So you got 3 bullets here, first, second, and third. So the first one is an eco-friendly product. So look at the situation given. The good thing about part 2 is that they give you a situation with the keywords already there in the sentence. So the keyword here is eco-friendly products. So in your mind, you have to say what is eco-friendly products. Eco-friendly products can be recycle bags. Eco-friendly products can be your your skincare products. Eco-friendly products can be, gadgets, can be like what else? Household items, things that you use every day. Those are eco-friendly products. If you feel that you are so suddenly get stuck with an idea, so then it's better that you can just use recycle bags. No? If that is when you are stuck with idea. But if you have other ideas, it doesn't matter. You can just put the idea. Right. Second question is asking about reasons. So for the first part of the question, if they are asking for an eco-friendly product, means just one item, right? Not more than that. Reason, you can have 3 reasons, 2 reasons. It is up to you. One reason could be a little bit lame, could be too little for you to elaborate. So if you feel that you want to write more, maximum is 3. I don't suggest that you write too many reasons, because sometimes when you have too many reasons, it's actually redundant. The third one is a way how the product can be promoted to the community. So this is a singular noun, a way. You can just suggest one way, but from that particular one way, it can be expanded to many things that can be done. Alright. So for part 2, students are required to write the essay around 125 to 150, which means that it's 1.5 page. So you can actually write more, it doesn't matter. But You have to remember you got part 3 for you to do as well. So it's going to take a longer time in part 3. So try to be just moderate for part 2. Yeah. Okay, so this is my brainstorming box that I've been using for many times already, and that I've mentioned many times as well. This is the thing that I do with my students in class in class too, for them to brainstorm ideas. Can I make my screen smaller so that you can see what I meant by this? Alright. Now, when you talk about eco-friendly product, like what I mentioned just now, an eco-friendly product that you use in your daily life, what do you do? What do you use always when you want to go shopping? Recycle bags. Do I see recycle bags? Okay, there are so many recycle bags nowadays out there. Some of it can be woven bags. Woven bags. Bags which are biodegradable. Biodegradable. Biodegradable bags. Okay, for example, if you go to any supermarkets right now, there's a difference between the normal plastic bags and the biodegradable ones. Okay, biodegradable ones are good for environment, right? Okay, this is one. So you just choose. You just give an example. Okay, reasons how the product helps save the environment. So if you were to use recycle bags, it helps the environment because uh, the bags nowadays is biodegradable. Can use that again. Biodegradable. So you can be, if you were to throw it away, it can be, you know, you can put it in the ground and it will be degradable, but it will be, uh, it will separate by itself. That's what I meant. It will not cause any harm to the ground, Okay, all right. Helps to save the environment, would be less pollution. How does the, how the products help to save the environment? You don't have to cut. They're able to save, save so you don't have to cut down trees and turn them into sorry able to save the environment. Me, no flashlights. Sorry, decrease flashlight. You know what I meant by that? You know, when you throw rubbish into the drains will get clogged. So when it get clogged, especially in big cities, because of the drainage system, it can cause flash floods to happen. But if you were to use recycle bags, such as like wooden bags or the biodegradable bags, you are able to help decrease the flash flood and at the same time you're able to save the environment. That's what I meant. Now, less pollution means you don't throw in like woven bags anymore. You can just recycle it again where it can be used again and again and again. For biodegradable, you are able to uh, we 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 can just put it in the recycle bins, and the biodegradable bags can be recycled again and can be used again and again. That's what I mean. So this topic is quite tricky and it's quite difficult actually for some students. So you really need to uh, know what is actually eco-friendly products. Eco-friendly products means it doesn't harm the humans and the animals, but it brings back benefits to us to humans and animals. Okay. Now, a way the product can be promoted to the community. Usually, when you have this kind of things to happen, you will have campaigns. Campaigns. V-A-I-E-N-S-Y. When you say campaigns, campaigns can be done throughout the neighborhood. For example, so you will have posters, you will have flyers. Okay, sometimes you can also have like campaigns, the 3R campaigns. Okay, alright, so that's what I meant by campaigns. You will also say that when the campaign is done, this is to create awareness. Awareness among community. See? Create awareness. Right? Okay. Right. So that's how you brainstorm. You can actually do this with your with your friends at school. You can have this in the you can do it in the class actually. So that usually what I do. This is what I do with my students in class. You know, at times we will sit together and I'll just scribble on the board what to do. These are the things. These are the things. Because the more you do brainstorming methods like this, you actually will get some ideas of how to go about it. Alright? Okay? Alright. Okay, now from there, what is going to happen is that when you come up with your paragraphing, my 5P technique is more on, it means that you are writing in 5 paragraphs. But I'm not going to force any one of you to write 5 paragraphs. This is what I do with my students again. Helping them to write 5 paragraphs is just making them to have some confidence in themselves. And for them to begin their paragraph number 1, which is the introduction, usually I will ask my students to use back the situation as an introduction. Don't worry, because what? In the question itself, the first part, this is already the content, the keywords. Discussing eco-friendly products. The keyword over there. Right? Okay. For paragraph number 2, you are using the prompt. Which prompt are you using? You are using this prompt. The first one, an eco-friendly product that you use in your daily life. This is your first question. When you go into your third paragraph, you are answering the second prompt. Okay. Second prompt is reasons how the products helps to save the environment. The 3 things here. You can put that in your next paragraph. For the fourth paragraph is the third prompt. So the third prompt is where the students is actually giving away the product can be promoted. Okay, so if you look at this, you use cohesive devices also besides that. This is just a helper. If you want to use, you can use. If you not want, it's up to you. There are many other choices of cohesive device. And the last one is paragraph 5, a brief conclusion. This is basically your personal opinion. Okay, your personal review. For example, if you feel that eco-friendly products is good, so your opinion will be, in my opinion, I feel that using eco-friendly products is a good way to help save the environment. For example, that's how I do with my students. You can follow the way if you want to. There is no problem. But what I'm trying to do here is that for you to see, this is how you can actually construct your paragraphing, construct your essay by doing brainstorming. Okay? Alright. So if I were to write in my first paragraph, what's going to happen is that can I make my screen smaller so that you can see how I can do my introduction. So my introduction is I'm going to use back this question your class has been discussing. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to change this question to become an introduction. Right, let me show you how. Okay, let me show you how, yeah. Okay, your class has been discussing. Now when I do my introduction, it becomes like this. I'm going to make my writing a little bit smaller so that you can see. Your class will become our class. Our class has been discussing, okay, about eco-friendly products. Sorry, our teacher has asked us to write an essay on it. Okay, alright. Can you see what happens in this particular line? Now, I'm just using back the question from here. Okay, I'm just using back the question from here. Right. Your class has been discussing eco-friendly products. Your teacher has asked you to write an essay on it. So what's going to happen is that I'm just going to change. This one. Okay. So your class will become our class. The pronoun changes. Okay. Our teacher has asked us. Is it wrong? It's not wrong. It's still correct. The keyword is still there. Discussing about eco-friendly products. The keyword is still up here. Look here. Okay. So when I were to answer for prompt number 2, which is paragraph 2, so what I'm going to use is, now I'm going to use first. Okay, first is what? First, for me to start my second paragraph. First, an eco-friendly product. An eco-friendly product that you will become I. That I use. That I use in my daily life is what? So I'm going to take this recycle bags. So if it's many, counts or recycle bags. For example, woven bags. For example, woven bags. Okay, full stop. That's it. If you say why, then you answer because woven bags nowadays are quite fashionable and what and it is quite quite convenient to use. Okay. Quite convenient means you can use it anywhere, everywhere, anytime you want. This is woven bag, so I use the word quite fashionable. Is it? You ask me, yes, for me it's quite fashionable. Because I myself use the recycled use the woven bag every day whenever I go to work and so forth. Okay. Alright, so when I want to do my paragraph number 3, so what I'm going to use is this. Answer the second prompt by giving what. So my second prompt would be reasons how the product helps to save the environment. This is the simplest way that I can help students, especially those who are weak on weak and mediocre. Okay. So I already used first. Now I'm going to use next. Next, comma. Okay, I'm going to take this answer, reasons. I'm going to use back the question as part of my answer, as part of my paragraph. Reasons how the product helps to save the environment are, comma, what are those? It causes, okay, it causes less pollution. Because it is biodegradable and can use again and again. Okay, right? Now, if I were to change reason how, what just now that I use, reason how the recycle bags help to save the environment are it causes less pollution because it's biodegradable and can be used again and again. Another one is I'm going to take this. It also helps what? Helps save environment. For example, flashlight will be decreased because plastics are not stuck anymore in trees, causing trees to get hot. Example. This is an example. Okay, this is an example. Alright. So you might see that in paragraph 1 the sentence is a little bit more the sentences is shorter than the next one, and then you can see that the second paragraph is a little bit longer than the first one. Then you see that paragraph 3 is a little bit longer than compared to the others. Okay, alright. Do you understand why do we need to have brainstorming? This is actually a way for you to practice how to go about it. Okay, now let's go to the last one. Answer the third prompt. So the third prompt would be away the product. So this is the final one. Okay, finally, or you can use the word lastly, comma, away how the product can be promoted to the community is through through campaigns. Through campaigns, campaigns that can be done throughout the neighborhood area using posters, comma, right, flyers, comma, or flyers. QR campaign can be promoted. Okay, can be promoted. Or what? I'm just going to join this sentence together so that you will get one complex sentence to create awareness among community. Okay, alright. Alright, so my last paragraph would be now keep don't use the word finally or lastly as your closing. Take it as a conclusion. Alright, in conclusion, in conclusion, it is important to what? To use eco-friendly products. Who's that? See, that's what I meant by the 5P technique. The first paragraph, you're using the situation. The second paragraph, you're using the first brainstorm box. The third paragraph, you're using the second brainstorm box with the second instruction, the second task. The fourth paragraph, you're using the third question, and the final one, the conclusion, is you giving your own idea or giving a suggestion. So it's emphasizing on what is the topic. See? It's not that difficult actually, my dear students. It's quite easy if you practice a lot. So this is a technique that I do in my video. Alright. Okay, now let's go to the third part. Now the third part is about a report. So this is an extended essay. Extended writing, students have to write more than 200 students have to write between 200 to 250 words. Okay. So in this part 3, students are given 3 choices of essay to choose, types of writing. You have article, you have report, you have review, or you have story. So it depends on your strength and capability of writing. So if you think that you can write a report, then you do a report. If you feel that you are good at writing articles, then you do articles. Yeah, but bear in mind that for part 3, situations are not given anymore. They are only given tasks to do what they are supposed to be doing in part 3. Compared to guided writing, you can see that they give you a situation where you can actually use the situation as your introduction. So the way we attempt in part 3 will be a little bit different compared to part 2. Alright? Okay, now here is a report that to be written to your principal. So there are 3 things that you are required to answer. The first one is to state the name of the program, because this is a video program for students. A special feature of the program explains how the program can benefit the students. So when you have like a video program for students, what actually do you want to hear? What actually do you want to have in that particular program? Okay. So students, you must know what you want. Okay, right? Okay. When you're writing for a report, this is how you go about with the format. Yeah? So because the requirement is for you to write the principle, so when you write your report on top here, principle of the name of your school, just give the name of your school. Don't write any other school. It's better this way. The title is video program for students. Where do I get the title? I get the title in the task here. Alright. Okay. And the date is on the 10th of February. So the date has to be it depends on what is the requirement of the task. Like for this, decided to start its radio program. So the report is you have actually asked your friends what kind of program that you want for the radio program before the school starts doing it. So basically, you are reporting back to your principal. This is your the survey that you did. This is what you get. What the student wants. Alright. Okay. And at the end of your report, written by with the signature and the name in bracket. Okay, but remember, format is there is no marks for format. So students actually have to, when you write your report, it has to sound like a report. Okay, see, same thing that I did with private writing. So the name of the program is up to you. What kind of program do you want? Let's try. Okay, let's try. Okay, name of the program. What kind of program that you feel that is suitable for students actually with no program? Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. So probably in this program, students actually can express what they feel. So here, describe a special feature of the program. So probably students can share problems, or they can share experiences. Okay, they can also probably share their opinions about every routine, probably activities. Right? Meaning that they are open to anything right now. How the program can benefit the students. So students usually, when you talk about benefits, it gives them the space to express right? Probably the program can give them some peace of mind. Okay. And this program could be something that can entertain students. So they will feel less stress. Alright. So when you were to write your essay, so what you're going to do is, you can just use back the way that I have already mentioned in part 2 for this particular area. Alright, understand? Okay. But probably here you can say that the question is about program. So you might want to write something a little bit different. You can say that if the thing is about coming up with a program, so you can say that students nowadays need want to do listen and feel that they need a platform to express their feelings, but with limitation. So you start your introduction with those kind of things because this is a program for them. So when you go into your second paragraph, third, fourth, and fifth, you can just use the way that I taught you just now. Use that this and the boxes here for you to put in the writing. Okay, alright. The more you practice, actually, the better you will become. Trust me. Right? Okay, now let's look at the next one. So this is a review. Okay, and the review is you have to find the most popular bookstore in your area. Here you have to describe the most popular bookstore in your area. So as students, you know that every one of you have certain bookstores that actually of your favorite. Yeah? Okay, that is one task. Second task, state the name and location of the bookstore. So this is the first question. Yeah? The name and the location of the bookstore. Tell us what makes the bookstore special, the speciality of the place. Some bookstores nowadays, they have reading areas, so sometimes they have cafes and so forth, so they will sit down there and do their reading while drinking coffee, for example. And the third one is, would you recommend the bookstore to your friends? So again, when you write this, because you are going to write this for a lifestyle magazine, again, when you do review, you're actually promoting what is it about. And the tenses to be used can be both present and past tense because you have been to the place. So when you were to recommend, you will definitely be the present tense. Okay, all right. This idea of writing the paragraph is quite similar to the previous one, to the guided writing. It's just that it is up to you. I'm just making it more different from one another so that it doesn't look the same all the time between others. Between writing an article, writing a report. So this is another way of writing a review. Okay. Now, general idea of the topic given means about this. The general idea is you are talking about the most popular bookstore in your area. So why do you think that is, students need students, teenagers, like to go to bookstores nowadays? Why are bookstores very popular nowadays? It's just a very general idea of it. Okay, right? And the last one, a story. Okay, a story. Now the different thing about this story is that it's not different. It's actually quite similar. Unforgettable moment, unforgettable event. So the story must begin with the following words. So you are given the phrase or the sentence. That morning I had never been so scared and sad at the same time in my life. Something must have happened to you that you felt scared and sad simultaneously at the same time, and from there's a continuation of the event. So when you write a story like this, the first word that you need to be be aware of is description. So when you talk about description of the event that took place in the story, you have to be very specific, use a lot of descriptive words. There are so many descriptive words out there if you look up in books, in reference books, words that, if you were talking about a place, descriptive words for place would be different. When you're talking about animals, it will be different. When you talk about humans, it will be different, right? Okay, an element of mystery. This is the different one. Now, an element of mystery means definitely has to be interesting because in order for you to make others, to listen to you and to read your story better, you have to make it more interesting. You have to make it more interesting. You make it a little bit smaller because it's like too small. Yeah. Right. Okay. Uh, it has to be interesting. Let me continue. Interesting because interesting in the sense where for you to make the reader to continue reading your story. For example, you see that you're scared and sad at the same time. The story could probably be you have seen an argument between your parents early morning. You are so scared because you have been listening to them saying that they are going to get divorced and scared of losing one of them, any one of the parents, and at the same time you feel sad because you'll be losing one of them at the same time. Then if it's the interesting part is that you want to see how actually the story goes. How does it actually sort of will they continue making that kind of decision? That will be the interesting part. But then the scared and the sadness will come later. Okay, the second main attention to the story that you need to provide in would be elements of difference and normal situation, such as feelings and experience. You see, scared and sad, there is an element of difference and normal situation. Some people they are scared but they are happy at the same time. Some people are scared but they are terrified at times. So the level of word you use in your essay has to show the condition of the situation. And then element of surprise or something different. Probably you might thought it end up well, but it did not. So an element of mystery can be put where? It can be put at the end of the story. Okay? At the end of the story. You might leave a question mark to the reader, especially how would your parents take it? Are you going to finally leave one another, or they have come up to a conclusion that they want to stay together and they are trying their best. Okay, and probably the mother gives the father another option to wife, okay, to have a second marriage. I'm not sure. The element of mystery can be surprising, can be something scared, can be something. Uh, it makes us think what is actually the meaning of it, of the whole event. Okay, all right. So I think that's the end for today's discussion. Like I said, you know, it's normal to have a story at every part of part three. Uh, Something like, it has never been taken out from that particular part. The story will always be there, and you can only see the difference of the story that you need to write, whether you start off with a sentence, or you must end the story with this phrase, or they will just give you a specific title. All right, so I think that's all for today. Thank you so much um, for being with me. Hope to see you soon. I have one more state to discuss, and I wish you all the best in your exam. Thank you. Bye.